So I wonder how your life changed from that point moving forward, if it did. Can you almost point to that as like a dividing line between the before and the after?
I can. Yeah, I can. Um, we opened our law firm 2 years, less than 2 years after that. Oh no, I'm sorry. Our law firm opened in 2006, so it was during that. But my my job as kind of the de facto managing partner, I looked at things quite differently after that happened. We wound up buying the building that the law firm was housed in. Um, my law practice changed. The way I viewed myself as a lawyer changed. The way that my relationship with my wife changed. My relationship with my daughter changed. A lot changed. Part of it was because of, oh, I can do hard things, even though I've been doing hard things my whole life. But part of it was, oh, I get to choose. I get to choose how I look at the thing.
Yeah, and during that time, I wonder if your wife, your daughter started like they actually started to notice and say things to you.
My daughter, not so much because she was a teenager then, and
Yeah,
you know, but
typical
my,
teenager. Yeah.
yeah, she's awesome. We have a great relationship, Allie and I. Michelle, I think if you were to ask Michelle if she was here, she would say that she noticed a difference.
Yeah. So in the time you were a trial attorney.
Hmm. Yeah, I did criminal defense, white collar in federal court, guns, drugs, money, all the way up to death penalty work in Idaho.
Wow.
I was on the certified as a death penalty practitioner.
Yeah. How long did you do that for?
Oh gosh, I did criminal defense from 2006 until I stepped away from the active practice in 2020. And for the death penalty work, I probably started doing the education part right around the time that I was first doing Ironman triathlon, and then became certified in around 2012.
Yeah. I early on in my career I did criminal defense, and
Mhm.
just the thing about it, it's such a grinding job because the way I was putting it with was I talking to him earlier is that you could be, have your entire week planned out, and then Tuesday, 4 o'clock, you get a phone call. Next thing you know, you got a bond hearing tomorrow morning that you were
Mhm.
planning on doing some office work, but you're gone. You're now in a bond hearing tomorrow morning, and then you're dealing with jail calls, and you're working at night and we're working on the weekends. And so I wonder, I mean, is that part of the reason why you got out and wanted to shift?
No, I loved being a lawyer.
Yeah.
I loved being a trial attorney. I loved representing my people in court. I loved it. That's not why I left. I left for two reasons. I wanted to have a greater impact in the world. I mentioned that I think human beings have an unlimited ceiling. To borrow from Steve Jobs, I think we were all put here to dent the universe. The dent that I was making was important, but it wasn't big enough for me. The second reason is I want to be geographically independent. The world's a great big place, and I want to soak it all in. And from being practicing criminal defense part of your career, you can't do that.
Nope.
You have to be there. You have to be able to go to the jail. You get to be there. You get to go to the jail. You get to meet people who you'd otherwise not meet. You get to really meet someone who was no different from me, other than maybe three decisions that they made in their
Right.
life.
It's that 1 to 3 decisions.
Yeah. And so I left because I wanted to have a greater impact and be geographically independent. I didn't leave because I was burnt out or stressed out. I loved it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you transitioned to I mean, a completely different life, I would think. And so, tell people about what you started in 2020.
Yeah. So in 2020, I started a coaching practice. What does that mean? I'll borrow from Tom Landry. A coach is someone who tells you what you don't want to hear, who helps you see what you don't want to or can't see, so that you have the possibility of becoming everything that you can become. And it was that, right? I've coached sports in my life, specifically with my daughter. Um, That's a funny place to be. Uh, but it was, it's taking that mindset of unlimited potential, helping people, empowering them to get out of their own way, that really kind of drew me into this chapter of my life.
You made that comment about your daughter being a funny place to be. What do you mean by that?
I think any parent who coaches their child will tell you, if they're being honest, they're harder on them than they are on the other people. And that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but it feels natural. And it was a wonderful opportunity. I mean, I coached her in basketball, I coached her in softball. Wonderful opportunity, really helped us, I think, have the strong bond that we have today, that time together. But it's a challenging place to be, both for the parent, and I think it's quite challenging for the child as well.
Yeah.